would like to thank everybody here for tuning in. I'm about to interview Lil Cubensis, Spidergang. I'm just waiting for bro. Sent him the invite, but this is gonna be our first Zoom interview, and I normally don't like prefer to do interviews like this, but fuck it, we're gonna try something different. And you might see this a lot more often with people that I have a hard time getting out there too. All right, let me add bro. My first time doing this. Let's see if I do this shit right. Hey, what's good, bro? Can you hear me?
Yo,
Word, word. I'm glad we
hold
could.
up. I cannot hear you. Let me figure this out.
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay.
Word, you can hear me now?
Yeah, let me try to get you into Oh, I don't even have the headphones plugged in. That's why. Silly me. Beautiful. All right.
We good now?
Yeah. How am I
Word.
sounding?
You sounded good, bro. I could hear you. I could hear you.
Beautiful. Hell yeah. AT 2020 gang.
I don't even know what mic this is. It's a cheap ass
It looks like a
Shure
PA mic
microphone.
damn near.
It's roughly that. I usually use it for like DJing and shit like that. So
Yeah. I mean, it sounds good.
works.
So, I mean, it works. Yeah. Gets the job done.
So like I've never done anything over Zoom before. So this is like mad interesting. It's gonna be like my first Zoom interview because I usually try to do these in person. I tried to link with you in person in LA and we just couldn't make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. No, I've only done like doctor's appointments over Zoom. I've never done anything like
Yeah. Yeah,
it.
I might start utilizing it a lot more. You know what I mean? For
Honestly,
people that have a
like
hard
it's pretty
time.
good. Like it's pretty reliable, it's accessible for everybody and yeah, it works.
Yeah,
Although
and
like I know they were saying that the servers were kind of getting overloaded though with like all the schools doing that shit.
yeah, I'd imagine. I like cuz I'm back at I'm in New Hampshire, my home state right now, not in North Carolina. I had to make an emergency trip back home.
Oh,
'Cause,
for sure.
see my little brother, he's like, "Yeah, we start school tomorrow. It's over like Zoom and shit." I'm like, "What?"
God damn. Hey, do you want me to
Boy.
record my video as well?
Yeah, if you want to, just in case, something happens, there's two
For
copies
sure.
of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm recording, but you never know. Shit could get corrupt, and you know what I mean?
All
You
right.
never
It
know.
says it says please request record permission from the meeting host.
I don't know how the fuck to do that.
Well, we got one footage.
Well, I mean, it works. So,
Yeah, you could probably do it to where like it switches between us like every few seconds or something like that. I know that they've done that before.
yeah, only thing I don't know is this video. I mean, people are more interested in you than me. That's what the interview's about you.
Right.
That's what matters. So it's like, but I'm in this little corner and shit over here.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I
So
mean on my
yeah,
screen.
yeah, it's
So it's
opposite
like,
for me. I'm in the little corner. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like I don't know how it's gonna turn out on the screen recording. If it's gonna have us like side to side or not.
I think
Oh
because you're
shit.
recording from your perspective, it should be like my part is bigger than yours.
I just changed it actually. So now on my screen we're side to side.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
I guess if you go in the corner and you go to view and
Oh, there we
you
go.
hit grid, it'll make us
Yeah,
like side to
gallery
side.
view.
So in this
Yeah, there
interview to
we go.
start, we just taught you all how to use Zoom. So you guys got a good Zoom tutorial if you came here for
Take
beats,
advice. Take notes.
Take notes. We're not teaching anybody about beats today. We're teaching about Zoom. But shit, bro. Thank you. I get a lot of comments like, bro, interview Cubensis, interview Cubensis.
Yeah, it's kind of long overdue. How long have we been talking about doing this? It's been like a minute.
Bro, I'm gonna go on my Instagram right now on my messages.
Wasn't it like after the Gunk tour or some shit? Like somewhere around
Shit,
there. You're like, oh,
that
you
was
got
almost a
Darkie and
year
Wendigo, but
ago.
you didn't get Cubensis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
like
like I think it was a year ago.
December 6th is
Oh,
the
okay.
first time
So
I hit you up. About a year
yes.
ago, almost
Yeah,
almost a
so it was
year
a little
ago.
bit past that. A couple months past that.
So yeah, damn, we've been trying to do this for a minute.
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't even think before like there's shit like this now. So
Yeah,
it's just
everybody,
like,
don't think I didn't want to do it. It's just, our whole schedules
oh
collided,
yeah,
and
yeah. And
yeah,
I try, bro, if possible, to do everything in person. But like, you
yeah,
know
for
what I
sure.
mean? I'm now more open to the idea of doing stuff like this. So it's
Yeah,
cool. It's
yeah,
a
no,
little different.
definitely. I
Um.
definitely want to do an in-person thing with you, though,
Oh
for
no,
sure. At
wait,
some
bro, we'll
point.
get it. We'll get it. Like if I met you tomorrow, we just still do it and drop both interviews.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
but no, next time we're if we're ever in the same area, we will. I really want to do like I want to do like a Spider Gang type interview at least, or at least you and Darkie
Yeah,
together.
yeah, for sure. Well, I know that I'm not gonna explicitly say where I live just for
Oh yeah, yeah,
privacy's
don't
sake.
yeah, yeah, don't
But
do that.
Darky, Corpse, and Brumman are actually moving in my area, and
Word,
yeah, and MK too, and
word.
so yeah, it's gonna be
Let me
the
know.
five of us.
Let me know when that happens, bro. I'll fly out. We could make it. We could definitely make that happen. Like definitely make that happen.
Yeah, for sure,
Cause I was just
for
I was
sure.
just with Darky again. I'm not gonna say where Darky lives, but I was
Yeah,
just at
yeah.
when I was in LA, and I think I texted you. I was at Darky's apartment. So,
Right. Oh, by the way, I was on FaceTime with him, and he says hello.
oh word,
He says he misses the fuck out of you.
yeah, bro. Darky, I'm not even gonna say his government name on air. Darky's mad cool.
Yeah,
I love bro. I got a lot of love for bro. He's actually
I
one
do
person
too.
I interviewed that like I've actually pretty stayed in good contact with, and he's actually become like a good acquaintance of
Yeah,
mine. But it was mad cool to go
yeah,
chill with
for
him
sure.
when I saw him when I was in
Yeah, and
Cali.
with him, it's just like a case of real recognize real. Like if he sees that you're like an actual like genuine person, then like he's gonna fuck with you. He's gonna stay in contact with you one way or
Definitely,
another.
definitely. He's definitely that type of person. It's I mean like I guarantee you he's kind of wary in who he fucks with now because he's getting to be a
Yeah,
to be a pretty
yeah.
big name.
There. I'm not gonna go into any strict details, but
Yeah,
there has been some fuck shit that has been going on to where like people who were once our friends aren't anymore, and like people who wouldn't fuck with us when we were smaller are now like weird about us being like at the point that we're at now, and it's just
yeah,
like people are just mad weird, and like that's what he and I were talking about earlier. Like people are just like hella weird about fame and clout and shit.
bro. I see it
Yeah,
all
like
the
I work at
time.
a local studio, and like I'm constantly meeting new people, seed spreading and all that, and
Yeah,
it's sometimes weird because like I've actually met this one dude who I showed him my Instagram, and I'm only following one account. It's the
yeah.
Spidergang account, and he was like, "Oh, I see how you roll. Like you're one of those cats. Like you got all those followers,
I
you
know
know."
that.
And first thing for me, it's like I only have like 11K. Like
Yeah,
I'm not like famous, and but also just I don't follow people because for one thing, like I'm very selective with who I like show my support to now,
yeah.
and also just like I'm not trying to see like other people share it on my timeline. You feel me?
No, I feel you most definitely. Like,
Like,
bro.
uh, like ever since I've stopped following people, I would go on like the explore page and I would see people's shit on there. And like ever since like that has been a thing, it's made me so anxious to like see what other people are doing on the internet and shit. Like it just
Yeah,
freaks me the fuck out. So I just try to like stay as like incognito as possible. Like I'm active on Twitter. I'll like retweet shit and like shit, but fucking, like I'm definitely I mean, I never really was one to like post a lot on my account anyways, but I'm
yeah.
definitely way more wary than I was before.
Bro, I feel you. I'm not a social media person at all. Like I'd never follow. I only follow people that look at my personal page. I have less than 1,000 followers. Like I don't give a fuck,
Right.
bro. Like I
Right.
do interview shit. Like I don't care about my name getting big, but people will be like, "Yo, what's your Instagram?" And they'll follow me. And be like, "So you're not gonna follow me back?" Like, bro, I don't know you.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you
Like,
know what I
bro,
mean?
either that or I'll get like a DM from them like, "Hey, bro, like I'm trying to win like this contest for whoever gets the most likes on this will get like a free session or whatever." And I'm just like, "Bro, like I'm not going to do that for you." Like,
That shit is like so whack, bro. It's like
it
social
is.
media cloud is so fucking whack. Like
It is, bro. And it's ironic that like this is coming from somebody who like has, like a modicum of social media pull. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, I mean, granted, there are a lot of people who get the clout and like really like love it. And if that's your cup of tea, whatever, like that's your thing. But fucking, I mean, a lot of people who get fame are turn out to be very unfulfilled, and like it's not all that they thought it would be.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And
And
there are those people that like they only want the fame, and I don't get it, bro. I don't get
yeah,
it at all. Like
yeah,
even little ass me with my small ass podcast. Like I was in Charlotte like the day before I left, and like I was at the store, and like I was leaving the store with my shit, and this dude runs up to me. I mean, it's happened before, but I'm not like a huge name. But like if I'm in Charlotte and I'm around something music related, I'm gonna get recognized a little bit.
right,
And
right.
it's like, but I was just at the store getting my shit, bro. And this dude works at the store, rushes over, like, bro, I'm such a big fan of your podcast and shit. Da, 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 da. It's like it was
That's
cool, but
hella lit.
it was lit, but I hated it, bro.
Yeah. No, I actually had a similar situation happen. I work. I'm currently working at a car wash just to like get a little extra money in. And there's this kid who he goes to the local high school here. And he and I were just talking. We were kind of going back and forth. I was like, so and so, and so and so, and he's like, yeah, I know all those people. So then I started bringing up heads that like I knew. I brought up like, so like Gizmo, and he's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
fuck with him, and I'm like, so like MK Ultra, and he said, yeah, I know him too, and then I said, all right, so I'm gonna ask you this, you know who Spidergang is? And he's like, bro, I listen to Lil Darkie all the time, and I'm like, it felt weird for me to tell him. I'm like, well, I'm Cubensis, like I'm one of the cats in there. He's like he looked at me like, bro, like what the fuck? And I told him, I'm like, bro, this is just as weird for me as it is for you. Like I'm not used to
that's so weird,
being like
bro.
recognized. Yeah, it was weird as fuck. I mean, it was cool. Like it's cool that like people recognize your work or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's definitely like it's really weird, that like someone you have no idea exists just like knows who you are.
Oh, bro, all
And
the
there's like
time,
thousands of those people.
like I'll have people like even like I said, even someone like me who's not nearly the popularity like Spidergang, like at a show, people will come up to me like, "Yo, I remember remember we talked over this time," and I'm like, "Bro, I'm sorry, I don't." Like, it's just like it is weird when someone
Right.
like recognizes your work and you don't know them or anything about them. Like, it's like at first, it's like it still is. I'm sure
Yeah.
it is for all
Well,
of you
especially
guys.
because like, especially yeah, but it's also weird because you have your own point of view on your work, and it's typically a lot more negative
Oh
than
yeah,
like what an outsider sees of it. And so like for me, like I don't think I'm not going to say like I think my work is shit, but I'm very very critical of what I make. Almost to the point where it's like obsessive and
oh same way.
fucking and like I'll have something that's released and I'll still think that there's some shit that I could have done to it to make it even better. And like to have people that are like, bro, like that shit is so amazing, like I can't believe you were even able to make something like that or whatever. It's like, yeah, like I don't know either. I don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
Like specifically with composition 11, like I don't, have you heard that one?
Yep. I love that's what bro.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Darky songs. Like
Yeah,
dead
no,
ass.
it's one of my favorite beats that I've ever made, but it's also like I look at that beat almost like a fluke. Like it just kind of
Really?
happens. Like I remember, yeah, like I had a loop that I was just playing in my DAW, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just make like a standard lo-fi beat, whatever. And I started making it, and Darky came out and he was like, what is this? And I'm like, it's just a beat that I'm making. He said, all right, like extend that out, like make it a whole thing, make it evolve and shit. And he says, I want you to add trumpet to it. I was like, okay, word. Because for the people that don't already know, I play trumpet. I don't use trumpet samples. For everybody that asks me like where I get those samples from, I made them.
Word.
But
That's fire.
fucking yeah, and but fucking yeah, so as I was making it, it just kind of like took a like a life of its own. And like, not to say that I wasn't actively like engaged in what I was making, but it's almost like it took over, you feel me? Like it just kind of started building by itself. And so like I listen to that and like I think, how the fuck did I make that? I'm from the same point of view as other people where they're just like, how the fuck did you make that?
Yeah. No,
So but
I
yeah,
can relate.
back to the original point. It trips me out. Yeah.
So the first Dark, I mean, the only, well, no, the first one, because Darkie, he was in the Gunk Rock interview too. But
Mm-hmm.
the first time I talked to Darkie, and I want to talk to bro again. It's way overdue for us to do a second interview. I might have to get him. I'm gonna have to get him on a Zoom call. I'm gonna hit
Yeah,
bro
high
up.
key. Yeah,
I'm
hit
gonna
him
hit
up.
bro
Hit
up.
him up.
It's long overdue for a Darkie interview. But like
Yeah,
he was
facts.
talking about how he kind of linked up with you before really anybody musically.
Mm-hmm.
Before the rest of
So
Spidergang. How did that relationship come
yeah.
together?
So the way he and I actually linked up, it wasn't even based off of music. Like he and I went to CSU Long Beach. He was going for film. I was going for music. And I was going for trumpet performance, not even related to like any like production or anything like that.
Mm.
I wasn't even making beats at the time. It was back in like 2016. And he and I just happened to we happened to be suite mates, meaning that he had a dorm that was right next to mine, and we basically shared bathrooms.
Yeah.
And so he and I became acquainted through there. I became friends with him and his roommate. uh, that whole situation is a long ass story that we're not going to get into. But long story short, him and a group of other kids started not fucking with us because Darkie wanted to move out of his original roommate's room because he was doing like a bunch of crazy shit, like doing coke in the dorm and fucking like bringing alcohol where it's not allowed
Yeah.
and shit. And he was just like, bro, this is like way too hot. I need to get out of here. And so I helped him move out. And so by me associating with him, he and I basically became like the outcasts of the dorm area. And it was so like stupid. It reminded me so much of high school. And that's part of
I
why I
know,
left
bro.
college
I get it.
it just feels like the same thing over, especially if you're living in
Yeah.
the dorms. It's like high school, but like the fucking is in closer quarters.
Yeah, just I feel you, bro. I wasn't even in the same situation as you, but like I was in community college, it still felt like the same bullshit, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, his roommate and like a group of kids started, spreading shit about us. Everybody at the dorm started like not fucking with us. It was me, him, and then a third friend of ours named Anthony, who we still work with occasionally. And we were basically like the three amigos, we were the three kids that would go out in the alley and smoke weed and shit and fucking like go to the aquarium and do acid. Like we all just like bonded as like people before we even started like bringing artistry into it. And at this time I wasn't even creating like anything, not even drawing or anything like that. And so at one point I'm in his room and he's working on a song. This is back when he has like 32 followers on SoundCloud, like way at the beginning, back when he was Brahmin. And he's like working on a beat and he's like, hey bro, like you do music, right? And I'm like, yeah. He said, can you help me with like these notes on this beat or whatever? And he had Logic on his computer open and I had no idea how the fuck to navigate it. Like I had no idea what I was doing, but it intrigued me. I saw that and I was like, yo, this like looked really cool. Like I want to figure out how to do this. But I had no laptop to work with. So eventually I end up buying a year subscription of Soundtrap. And I use that for like a couple of months. It's like an online DAW. And it's honestly, if you're making beats on that, it's complete ass. Like it's the drums on there are so fucking bad, and yeah, just like the editing is terrible. Don't do it. But yeah, that was what I started out on. And then I forget how it happened, but the internet modem or whatever the fuck on Darkie's old computer stopped working, so he couldn't connect to the internet anymore. So it was basically useless to him. So then he bought a new computer, but he still had the old one. And I saw that he had that, and I was like, "Hey, bro, are you gonna do anything with that, or can I just like take it, or can I have it and like make beats off of it?" It's like, "Yeah, go right ahead." And this is back in like April of 2017. So that was when I really started like delving into like really making beats. And I was also at the conservatory at the time for music for trumpet, and I noticed that slowly my time drifted away from like doing conservatory shit and like doing classes for that, and more towards just like making beats. Like I would actually skip some classes to just stay inside and like just work on a beat I had. And then the year ended, summer came, and then he and I kind of worked. We weren't like working closely together, but I was just kind of sending him shit and
So
he was
this
kind
is
of giving
like
me feedback.
summer 2017 at this time.
Yeah, this was back when
Okay.
we were we had a another collective. It was called Native Cruiser Records. And it was me, him, Anthony, and then like a few other cats who are local in the area. And we made a few music videos at that time, and I was putting a lot of time into just making beats. I didn't even practice trumpet. And so when August came around and we had to do placement auditions, which is what the conservatory has at the beginning of each semester
Mm-hmm.
for to determine like what chair placement you get in terms of like who is the best. So like the best player will get principal chair, principal first chair, and then like it'll go down from there. And then there are three ensembles. There's the Wind Symphony, the Symphonic Band, and the Concert Band. Concert Band is the lowest, Symphonic is the middle, and then Wind Symphony is the highest. And then there's also the Symphonic Orchestra as well, which I was part of. And I didn't practice at all for those auditions. Like I was just putting all my time into making beats. And so when August came around, I was just like, it was at that point that I started thinking like, why am I really doing this? Like, why am I going to college for something that I haven't even put any of my time in lately?
Yeah.
So I go into my audition, like I'm not really expecting anything. I'm just like, I'm just going to wing it and, do my best. And the next day I checked the placement list, and they have me principal chair of the Wind Symphony, like the top group. And
And
then
you
they
right
have
at
me
the
principal
top.
chair of the Symphonic Orchestra. Yeah, they have me right at the
And
top.
you
And
wasn't
like
even
that's
practicing.
cool. Like, yeah, no, it was an honor to have that, but I saw that and like I shat myself so hard. I was like, bro, like this is so much pressure. Like I don't even deserve this. Like why am I even here? And like that whole semester it just kind of declined. Like I just gave less and less of a shit about like what I was doing at the college. And finally I talked to my professor, who was the one that gave me the scholarship. And like he was straight up with me. He told me, like I can't say that I'm not disappointed that like you're not staying here at school. I think you're a really great player, and I wish you would stay. But he said, as long as you're successful in music, he says like I did my job, and like that's all I really care
That's
about.
real as fuck. That's real as
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, and so like, and at the time I was also facing a lot of backlash from my parents too, and because they wanted me to stay in and all that. So getting that from him was really like a reassurance for me to like actually go through with this. Um, and a little disclaimer for everybody: don't do it the way I did, because I was very rough with it. Like, I didn't have any plan. I had no job. I was broke as fuck, trying to make the music shit work with like barely any followers. Like, it definitely made me the person I am today. And I'm definitely better for it. But, it's definitely not the necessary path for everybody to take, for sure. And so, yeah, so that was when Darky and I really started to work together, like late 2017. He and I came out with a project called Bacco. OG fans will know these projects like Space Pricks and then Psychonauts. was like that was like the Brahmin Faded Hippie magnum opus. That was like our psychedelic, like boom bap, fucking just like that was our most like experimental and psychedelic project that we had ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that was when he made the shift to Lil Darkie. And then that was when we dropped No Hands. And I remember we actually do you know who Lil Ominous is?
I've heard the name. I think Darky actually mentioned him to me at one
Yeah,
point.
he's Lil Pump's cousin. But I hit him up for a repost or for him to like just post us on his page. And it was like $40. And fucking we got posted on his page. It was the teaser video for No Hands. And that was like the first one that we actually got like 1,000 views. Oh, excuse me, my voice cracked. We got 1,000 views within like the first week. And he and I were both like, yo, like this shit is actually like really fucking working. Let's keep going with this. And so then, that was when we were coming out with the OG shit, hash slinging slasher. Fucking that was when we released Kill Yourself. And that was basically my last project as Faded Hippie before I made the transition to Cubensis. And then that summer, this is the summer of 20, he necessarily came up on this video. I think he was just like curious and looked at a Lil Darkie type beat on YouTube. And that's where he found Wendigo. Like that was the only producer that was making Lil
So
Darkie
wait,
type.
Wendigo uploaded a little Darky type beat. That's how they met.
Lil Darkie X
Essentially,
Lil Vamp type beat. Yeah.
I didn't
And
even I didn't even know that. I had
yeah.
no
And
idea that. I just
not
remember talking to Wendigo. He's like, bro, I just heard this dude Darky, and I just hit him up. And it's just like, I think he said
it
something
might have
along those
gone
lines.
it might have gone down like that. This is from my perspective though. I remember he just sent me the video and he was like,
Yeah.
yo, like this producer's hella tight. And I'm gonna get real honest here. I heard like the way Wendigo was producing, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I got a case of sour grapes, just
Mm-hmm.
because like even now, like I admire his production. Like he's
He's so
just
talented,
fucking
bro.
bro. He's unreal. Like I really I look up to him as an artist and as a producer and as a person too. Like he's a good ass dude, and
Oh, for real.
um real humble too, for all that talent, just like hella humble. So I saw that, and he started working with Wendigo, and then that was when Reckless Behavior came out, and that was featuring Stoneman, who at the time was Half Metal Kaiba, and Brahman God, or no, not Brahman God. It was what was his name? West End Ghoul. Shout out West End Ghoul. He's like a Chicago rapper. Um, I don't know. I haven't heard from him or seen from him lately. I hope he's doing good. But yeah, so they released that, and then I think after that was "Are You Out of Your Mind?" I think that was the first Darky song prod Wendigo, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but yeah. So that's how we kind of met them, and then Shoot People You Don't Like drop that had a song featuring Brahman God and Half
Mm-hmm.
Metal Kaiba. And then around like October is when we met Black, and then like it go at a certain point, like all the meetings of the different members of Spidergang just kind of meshed together. Like it
Yeah.
just kind of gradually picked up momentum.
So like, this is still in 2017, right? Correct? You're talking October
At this
2017.
at this point, it's 2018
At
now.
this point, it's 2018 now. So
Yeah,
I remember Wendigo, because I'm still trying to fill in the gaps. Maybe I have to ask Wendigo this next time, because I know Wendigo himself like created the group Spidergang. I don't know if he
yeah,
created that before he met Darky, or
yeah.
did
He
he?
did.
So
He
then,
did.
did he ask you guys to join in, or did it just kind of mesh together? Like, or just
You
kind
know,
of
I actually really, I kind of forget, how it kind of came to be. I just remember like him telling us about it, and then, yeah, I actually really don't even know how it like. It's really funny how I don't remember how it kind of became a thing. It just became a thing, Like
yeah,
at a certain point, we all just like. I think at first it was like 6 members, give or take, and it was like me, him, Darkie, Brumming God. I want to say Black, Salsa. There could have been others, but I can't remember. And then, the other members slowly came along: Dillinger, MK, Eddie,
yeah.
Flacco, all those people. And
I remember.
yeah.
I remember during the Gunk Rock interview, I asked Darky, and I said, so I know all members in Gunk Rock aren't in Spider Gang, and Darky was just like, yeah, we just don't feel the need to have everybody be in Spider Gang. And right before I dropped the interview, they announced, oh, Flacco and Eddie are Spider Gang now. And I'm like, yo, I'm about to drop this interview next week. Why don't you just explain why they're not?
uh,
But it's just
and
mad.
just
It's mad.
splice in audio. Yes, they are in Spider Gang.
I should have did some shit like that. But
Yeah.
it's just mad interesting how everything for you guys came together so organically. Like you guys were just met not even on the music tip and like, you know what I mean, got connected not even on the music tip, and then how it just
Yeah.
slowly organically. So you said No Hands was like the first song to hit 1K, right?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it?
pretty much. It wasn't the first song to hit 1K, but it was the first song to hit 1K at the rate that it hit. Like it
Yeah.
was at a much quicker rate than all of our previous songs.
And when did you really start to see his fan base start to come together at this Darkie's fan base? Because like he that his fan base grew so fast, like
You
really, really
know,
fucking fast, dude.
I mean, from the point of view of like someone who works closely with him, I would have to say like all the way back, like when Shoot People You Don't Like came out. I think
Mm-hmm.
that was when like the Darkie fans really started to roll in, or like when Jack Daniels dropped or
Yeah.
ISIS type beat. Like it's when Darkie was in that really like cartoony era of his
Mm-hmm.
music, where it was a lot more like frantic and chaotic.
Yeah.
That was when like the fan base really started to kick in.
Yeah, like that era, like I remember like watching him around that era. I think I got on Dark. He had like 2,000 Instagram followers type shit. It maybe like 5K or something on SoundCloud, maybe even less than
Yeah.
that. And it's just like I knew the moment I saw him that I was instantly gonna be a huge fan. Like it's just one of
Mhm.
those things that you look at him, there's just nothing like him. You know what I mean?
And
There's
you
art
listen to his
style,
music
sound
too.
wise.
Yeah, and you listen to his music too, and it's funny. I forget who I was talking to about this earlier, but like I feel like I've kind of been jaded by working with the people in Spider Gang because like I work back to me working at the studio. I meet a lot of people who try to make music,
Mm-hmm.
and like a lot of their shit is just like the best way I could describe it is like I have musical synesthesia, meaning like when I hear music I see like colors and like textures and shit like that. Like if I hear a snare, I'll imagine it like having a certain shape and
Yeah,
like almost sort of visualizing it. And whenever I like listen to Spider Gang or like anybody who's like coming up in this scene that we've kind of created, I see a lot of colors and like textures and shit. Like there's a vivid picture painted there. And then I go to like the studio and I meet like, not trying to shit on these people by any means, but like I listen to their music and it just like is gray for me. Like
I
it's just
feel
black
you.
and white and just like it doesn't stand out, you feel me? Like
No,
there's
I
not that
100% know what you're saying. Yeah.
there's not that taste of eccentricity, like that little spice that you add to it.
It's almost like I don't know if it's the same for you, but like it's kind of maybe it's like a developed skill, but it's I'm at the point to where like, bro, I can tell you within like a minute of meeting you and hearing your music whether you're gonna whether you're gonna do something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Whether you're
no,
really gonna
for
be able to
sure.
stick
And
it.
I think everybody's kind of got that sense for sure. Like in a way, so other people stronger than others, but like like even when I was at the studio and I was playing beats, like they were just like, bro, like this shit is something different, and like this isn't like what these other producers are doing.
Mm-hmm.
uh I just realized that sounded very egocentric.
Nah,
Fucking
nah, 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 not at
but
all, bro.
you know yeah, like it's just one of those things. I think for me, like I take pride in it because for a long time I've always been very self-conscious about like, does my sound stand out, and like do I have my own, or like, yeah, you got your own like thing going for you. And but yeah, yeah, for sure. People really do like, more than others have like that kind of eye for like, oh yeah, this dude's gonna do it. Like this, he's gonna make it.
Yeah. Um, when you met him,
I definitely had that with Wendigo.
when um when you met Darkie, was his art style always kind of like that? Did he already have that art style? Was he already kind of drawing and focused on that, or did that kind of start to develop along with the music?
Like the rubber hose cartoon kind of thing,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
with
yeah,
like the 1920s animation type shit.
yeah. Because I remember he was
No,
saying, "My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off,
yeah,
bro."
uh, no, you're good, bro. No, he definitely like drew and like had hit like his own like art thing going, but it was a lot more I would say computer generated, in that like
Mm-hmm.
he made the pictures more just in like Photoshop and shit. And I don't even really know what to call the style of art that he did. It was more art fiends are gonna shit on me for saying this, but it kind of reminded me of like Picasso in a way,
Mm-hmm.
just in the way that it was all based on like basic shapes and shit. And but yeah, so yeah, he does a lot of different shit. He also did a lot of like Photoshop cover art. Like for the Psychonauts cover art, he um did like a bunch of collages for each of the different songs, so they all had like their different unique covers
Yeah,
and shit. Like there was one where it was like a vaporwave sounding song, and he had like a picture of like classical clouds, and there was like a Greek, like it was like the Greek pantheon in the background, and it was Zeus and like Icarus reaching to each other, and there was like a by Zeus's hand and shit.
yeah,
He would just do a bunch of different creative he's always, and that's, back to what we were saying about like knowing that somebody's got like that it factor. Like when I met Darky, I like immediately knew like, yeah, this kid's got something, like he's onto something for sure, even back when he was Brahmin.
I feel like because everybody says, "Oh, they can develop and stuff," and that's true to an extent. But I feel like there's a basis of natural talent when it comes to music. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure. And like there's definitely some truth to anybody can make music, because yeah, anybody can make a beat. Anybody can rap on time. But it definitely it definitely takes like that special something for somebody to stand out that not everybody has. And I think that's both a good thing and like, front, depending on your point of view, a bad thing, just in terms of, there's some people who are blessed with that talent, but they don't utilize it properly, or,
Yeah,
they don't monetize it. And you have this other person who like, say, would have the drive that like compensates for that, but they don't have the talent per se. It's like, well, damn, like if I only had that kind of talent, like I could be like up, like I've already got the work ethic and shit. So, you know, depending on who it is, it's a gift and a curse for sure. And there are people who are hella talented who, don't really like that they have that gift,
yeah.
which I've always, found a little weird, if you have something really good at, everybody's got their own purpose that they want to fulfill. So you can't really knock anybody for at least trying on that.
No, that's facts. That's facts. So, did Darkie kind of help develop your sound as a producer at all, or were you just did you just kind of dive in on your own? Did you guys kind of help develop each other's sounds? I guess if that would really make
I
sense.
would say, yeah, I would say it was definitely like a hand in hand thing. At the beginning, though, it was for sure like him helping develop my sound just because I was so unsure on like what constituted a good beat.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just send him demos of like my shit and I'd be like, yo, what do you think of this? And be like, yeah, like change this up. I fuck with this part, maybe add like an instrument here or whatever. And we would just do stuff like that. But then eventually I got to the point where I was like, I guess self. And then it came to a point to where like I would start making my own kind of beats, and he would hear them and be like, "Yo, like I want to work with that." And so I would send that to him. And I would say my come up as a producer is different than others in that like I didn't start off with like selling beats on YouTube or just like sending beats to other artists. Like I already had like my guy to work with at the beginning.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it became more of a hand in hand thing. And then I think once Wendigo came around, because I'm gonna be honest, I think Wendigo kind of encapsulates the Darky sound a little bit better than I do. Just in terms of like like Darky's energy is a very chaotic and visceral,
Yep.
and I would say that Wendigo's energy on his beats is very similar to that, and it complements it very well. So I would say like once he kind of came into the picture, that's when like Darky had like his own sound separate from like anybody, like any other producer. And then Solsa came into the picture, and that's when like the sneaky nocturnal Darky came into the picture. And then I would say like my spot is like I used to really like making trap beats, but lately I've been really transitioning to more like a jazz neo soul, like boom bap kind of oriented sound.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's a lot more of a soulful kind of sounding genre. You can really emote a lot more. And Darky, he really likes my boom bap stuff, like anxiety or even
Mm-hmm.
composition 11 type shit. And so yeah, like I kind of found that in terms of like the trifecta of producers that work for Darky, like that's kind of where we all fit in per se. Like Wendigo
Yeah.
and I have even had conversations about it too.
You still use Logic?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You stayed on that program, or you kind of explored other DAWs?
I actually just recently downloaded Ableton Live 10 Lite, the same one that Wendigo uses, the 8-track limit. And I've been meaning to try to get into that, but it's just been so fucking confusing.
Yeah.
Like it's so different from Logic, and you know, like I've had too many ideas that I don't have the time to like put in like the work to figure out Ableton. Like just go to
Yeah.
Logic and make whatever idea I have. But yeah, I've also like dabbled in FL before, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a more I would say FL is a more loop oriented DAW, and I like to make my shit progress a lot more. So, and that's what Logic is really good for. It's very streamlined in how like the workflow is.
Yeah. So what was you said you were in school for actually trumpet and stuff like that. What were your early musical influences? What kind of led you into, playing trumpet, going to school to do that? What were you listening to early on?
Well, actually, I remember. Do you remember the leapfrogs that you
The
would have as a kid?
leapfrogs.
Have you
Mm-mm.
never
I
heard
don't
of a
know that.
leapfrog? Oh, bro, it's like the first. It was like an Amazon Kindle before Kindles even
You mean the leap?
existed.
You mean the leap pad?
Yeah, the leap pad.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
one of them shits, bro.
yeah.
I
And
had one of them.
I had like the encyclopedia one where it
Mm-hmm.
had like different like pages for different subjects, and there was a musical one that I would constantly like go to the different instruments and shit, and I would constantly like press on the trumpet one, And like that was just the one that I really liked. So I remember being 3 years old and being like, "Mom, can I have a trumpet?" She was like, "Someday, someday." And then I remember my music teacher in elementary school. He played trumpet, Mr. Sutherland. Shout out him. He uh, he would, in between like him teaching us recorder and like hitting the sound tubes and all that,
Hmm.
and he would play trumpet for us. Like he would play Star Wars or Indiana Jones, like all the crazy like the movie soundtracks
Yeah.
with like the iconic trumpet lines, and he would do like the Imperial March and shit. And I just thought it was so cool. And I remember when fifth grade came around, that was when you're eligible to start doing band. And I remember immediately, I'm like, I'm picking the trumpet. And so yeah, I just started going to band for that in fifth grade, and I was just hooked on it for like a minute. And I wasn't really listening to a whole lot of people that played trumpet per se. There was one song that also got me into trumpet though. I will say that it was Penny Lane by the Beatles. Have you heard that
Interesting.
one?
I
Penny
honestly,
Lane
if someone
is in
played it,
my
probably,
ears.
but
Yeah,
not off the
it's
top
got
of my
that
head.
piccolo trumpet solo at the end. And that song is it's really important to me because my mom played it a lot as when I was a kid, but also my mom's name is Penny and my legal name is Lane. And so,
That's
and when
mad
I was born, they
interesting.
were singing that in the nursery as, yeah, Penny Lane is in my ears and in my eyes. And so, yeah, that's just kind of been a thing between me and my mom. Like, we'll occasionally listen and I'll be like, hey, it's our song. But
So, were you at this
yeah,
point trying kind of like, I know I want to have a career in music, or were you just kind of like it was something you just kind of did?
it's really funny because I don't know what it was, but through like even throughout my childhood, I didn't know what necessarily I was gonna do. Like I wanted to do a bunch of shit, but I just knew that I wanted to do something in music. Because I grew up, because my parents listened to a whole bunch of like different genres and shit. Like one day what my dad would listen to Eminem when we're in the car, and then like the next day he would listen to like Linkin Park or Soundgarden, or like Alice in Chains type shit. Like I grew up on, mainly as a kid, I grew up on a lot of rock and like a lot of grunge music from the
Yeah.
90s and shit.
No, I feel that.
And then I remember when Audio Slave came out, and like that was also when I found out about Rage Against the Machine. I started fucking with them a lot. And I remember Chris Cornell, the lead singer of Audio Slave and Soundgarden, rest in peace to him.
Oh, R.I.P., bro. I
He was
remember that day.
Yeah, bro,
I
that was a
remember
sad
that
day.
day.
But he was a huge role model for me when I was in elementary school. He was like a huge like influence for me. And I also got into like Red Hot Chili Peppers and all that.
Hmm.
And so it wasn't necessarily like listening to trumpet players that made me want to get into music. It was just listening to music in general, just like constantly being around it. Like it just made me want to do it.